bit of synchronisation between the two there. The Wallingford girls got away and put a bit of clear water. Now we are down at the start with our next race. This batch of races are the junior singles sculls. It's Stevens of Reading Rowing Club against Turley of Tyne Amateur Rowing Club again. So the single sculler from Tyne is over on the far station, but the lead at the moment is Stevens of Reading Rowing Club.
Yeah, Stevens has been around on the junior circuit for some time now and has slowly and steadily built a bit of a name for herself, and as you can see here, she's leapt out of the blocks and has already got about the 3 to 4 length advantage on the girl from Tyne.
Yeah, we're looking here as they progress down through the meadows. You can see the overhead shot here, and the sculler from Tyne. You can just see the wing rig in her boat from the shot as we're looking right down, and that
well
that
done. That's
design,
not easy to say.
Wing, no, I know. I've got my weekend teeth in. Wing rig. It's not that normal, is it? I'm saying I don't.
Not
see
yet.
So many.
No, you see more and more of them coming out now, I think.
Yeah. Does it make you go quicker? No.
It won't make you go any quicker.
No, a lot of it's psychological, isn't it?
Really? I think it is.
You get a new bit of kit and you think, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to go faster.
Yeah.
I've got carbon riggers. We're going to go quicker.
Yeah, and you know, you still got to do the basics, really. You have all the gear, as I often say to you, Greg, all the gear and no idea. Here we go, coming up now to the halfway point. Miss Stevens still leading.
And sculling beautifully. I'm tempted not to say anything now after that very rude comment. But that would be unfair on Miss Stevens, and we're still trying to find the lists here. But nice and long, isn't she? And look at the square blade there, banging it in absolutely wonderfully so that it's not in at the angle. But this is the next race. So this is definitely Imogen North from Stratford upon Avon, and against the American School Brunsburg.
The American School in London, is it not? Yeah.
I would have imagined.
Yeah, with the black and orange.
Yeah.
They put an awful lot of scullers out. I remember National Schools the other year. I mean, must have been pretty much everybody in their school was having a go. Right, they're at the top of the island. Steering now becoming a bit of an issue. Oh dear. Imogen from Stratford-on-Avon has just started to wander over towards the woodwork in the middle of the river here, and the American girl is following her. You see that happen quite often. Somebody told me the explanation for that, and it had a term. I can't remember what it is.
It was something like straight lineage, was it?
No, it wasn't that. It was, if you're rowing alongside somebody, you tend to row alongside and follow them as opposed to the course. So you get drawn like a magnet.
Is that right?
Apparently.
You could come up with a term for that. Now, Imogen North, she was injured, quite badly injured a couple of years ago, and she was probably in the top 3 in the country at that stage. And she had a bit of an injury and took a year out, almost a year out, and has come back really strongly this year, as you can see from these terrific photos from the drone. She is a lovely sculler. She's not physically intimidating at all, but she's just beautifully balanced and has got really, really good aerobic capacity.
So this will be her last year as a junior then, yeah?
Yeah, this will be. Yeah, she's at upper 6.
Moving away there, yeah, she's got the lead and control of this race. That's a nice position to be in. You can see what your opponent's doing. You can basically just sit on them with a couple of lengths between you and the chasing boat as we go overhead now and look up the course. That's another one that catches people down. You go down to the start and up the course, and at the top of the course there you can see the town of Henley. On the left-hand side, just where the umpire launch now, is the tiny hamlet of Remenham. And you can just about pick the scullers out. Somebody's decided to fire up a chainsaw. They're not coming after me, are they?
I thought it was my dentist, actually.
I know. We apologise for that if you're picking up that noise. I'll just dispatch Tom to go and keep the dear boy quiet. So
there we are, Imogen North. She's certainly got back anything that she lost with that year out, and sculling really nicely. I was saying earlier, Martin, that, and you're old enough to be able to remember this, that 10 years ago, we'd never had anything of the quality of this from junior sculling
No.
and university rowing. It's just terrific to look. None of these skills scull badly. And the coaches are having to make minor adjustments to get them quicker and quicker. And they give up all sorts of things. The social life has to go, obviously studying needs to be carefully monitored and all of that, but they put so much training in these days. It's just incredible. And I know that Imogen does the same. I think she's controlling this race. You can see the girl from Sarah Brunsberg trying to come back at her, but I'm pretty sure that Imogen has this under control. She'll be watching her, and she hardly ever looks behind her. She steers from the boons.
she's rating a lot less than the girl from the American school there, but I think, barring disaster, she's going to win that. We've got an Agecroft battle going on in the following race, and as we look then from the drone, we can see that these Georgina Dooley and Helen Lee, both of Agecroft, and looking at this nearest to us, it's Dooley, who is trailing at the moment by a couple of lengths to her clubmate. That's always a bit of bad luck, isn't it, when you draw your...
In the first round?
Yeah. It's a bit... No, I suppose... Well, they call it luck of the draw, Greg.
Is that what they call it? I've learnt something again.
Unbelievable. Any lineage happening here? Where's Tom?
Well, the lineage actually looks pretty good, doesn't it, from both scullers? And I would say certainly better from Lee. And she's what, 3 to 4 lengths up at the moment. It is a terrific position to be in. You've done the hard work. You've leapt off the start. You haven't capsized. You've got a lengths lead. It almost becomes enjoyable.
Almost becomes enjoyable.
There's no doubt that I take my hats off to anybody who rows or sculls, but when you've got nobody else to blame, Martin, except yourself.
Well, Steve Redgrave, heard of him?
Sir
Steve. I knew him when he was Steve. Steve Redgrave was once quoted as saying, "This is the ultimate discipline."
Yeah, I absolutely think it is. Have you ever rowed in a single scull?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Seriously, I have. And the first time I got in one, for a laugh, they rigged it incorrectly, meaning I could not get the blades beyond my knees and push me into the middle of the river. So it was rigged so low, I was bound to fall in. Then something kicks in, which is called self-preservation.
Okay.
And I didn't.
Wow.
The little puddles I had to make just to get the thing back to the bank. Marvellous.
So it wasn't your belly that was stopping the blades?
It was my kneecaps.
Kneecaps?
Yeah, even bigger than the belly.
Oh, goodness.
I know, extraordinary.
But it is. I mean, your and my, if I can say this, posterior actually would be overlapping the whole boat these days. Have you seen how thin those boats
I
are?
know.
I mean, when you and I used to row, they were in wooden boats.
Yeah, and I mean, you see some of the sizes of some of the male rowers. The lad Angel from Cuba, who is a big individual. He sits on what is basically a pencil and puts all this power down. It's unbelievable.
It is.
It is the ultimate discipline.
It is.
And this looks as if it's done and dusted, with Lee of Agecroft overcoming her competitor. And I think the last of these is down on the start. Last of these, by that I mean heat of the junior single sculls. This first batch is Miss Watson of Cambridge 99 against Booth of King Edward the Sixth School. Do you see what I did there?
No.
Roman numerals. King Edward the Sixth School is whereabouts, Greg?
I think, is that close to Birmingham? King Edward the Sixth.
Okay, and down at the start they are off. King Edward the Sixth School is Birmingham?
There are a load of KE6 schools in Birmingham.
There we are. We are informed. So Cambridge 99, nearest to us, as they go down the island, going off at a cracking rate. The problem with that is the steering sometimes goes, but these two are doing a good job of this.
This is, you'll probably know this, Mark. This is for the Di Ellis Trophy. Now, there's a tremendous stalwart of British rowing.
Yeah, I just saw her earlier, actually.
It's lovely that she's got a trophy named after her. If anyone deserves a trophy named after her, it's certainly her.
Yeah, I've just seen Di up at the enclosure. Right at the top of the course, Remenham Club is where the enclosure, the good and the great, are sat having tea, watching some fantastic racing. And here's another one for us.
Yeah.
Junior single sculls, halfway down the island, are they? No, they've just reached the end of the island. And this is where there's a bit of timber now on both sides, so you need to be careful with your steering here.
So it's Esme Booth there who just almost, but didn't, catch a crab with her left blade there, and that threw her off a little bit. And it's the Cambridge 99 lady who was warned by the umpire just to get back on your station, otherwise I'm going to get pretty grumpy. And so she did. But both going really well. I think it's just on the Buckinghamshire station, just longer at the moment, but not as neat a sculler. Cambridge 99, the rating is higher, and the length of the stroke is not as long, but she is at the moment looking the better of the two scullers. The other lady looks actually quite nervous out there.
So Catherine Watson now has a lead of just over a length. And she looks like she's moving away here. They're moving now down, so about a third of the way down this 1500 metre course, and you can see there what's ahead of them. So still quite a way, quite a distance, and coming into shot now we see Consuta. I don't know whether anybody's had a chat about Consuta. It's a steam launch. It operates here on the Saturday of Regatta. It doesn't quite have enough oomph to follow 8's races, but great story about Consuta was we had an umpire once who was sat at the back of the sat at the front of the boat, and he didn't really want the commentator chirping in his ear, so he asked the commentator to stand behind the funnel. Well, by the end of the race, this commentator, it looked like he'd been shot. He had so many holes in his shirt where the hot cinders had burnt him, and he had a lovely black face. So the trick is, if you go on Consuta, stand upwind, stand in front of the funnel.
That's a great tip.
You like that? And you should try and get a ride on it. Actually, if anybody at the regatta, you can follow the races for a small fee. They can take up to 13 people they're licensed to, so there's generally room to follow the races, and really, really good thing to do. And she looks to have this very much. Yeah, you're right, Greg. The leader looks very, very comfortable here indeed.
Yeah, Esme Booth, obviously a very, very strong sculler, but she's just not as fluid as Catherine Watson from Cambridge 99. And great shot there. You can see how in control of the race she is. She's just not taken her eyes off her opponent at all, and is just doing enough just to almost leisurely drift up the river. Some terrific sculling. And luckily, actually, Martin, we've not had too many of the big cabin cruisers out
No.
today, so the wash hasn't been so bad.